Good morning or good afternoon, everybody there. We're going to talk about order of operations, video number 2 here. There's a couple of other features that I do want to talk about when dealing with order of operations and how to deal with some of the other aspects there, such as double parentheses and brackets, and whenever you have parentheses next door to numbers. So, if you haven't seen already, hopefully you reviewed my video number 5 on the order of operations. This is going to be the second order of operations video here. So a couple little highlights here that we're going to talk about. What happens if you have parentheses next to parentheses like this? This means multiplication. So if there is no operation between the parentheses and they're neck and neck like that, multiplication. So that's going to equal to 7 times 4 is 28. Negative 5 times 4 is going to equal 2. So again, you got those parentheses that are neck and neck to each other there. That means multiplication. This is going to be rule number 4 of the integer rules. So hopefully you're going to go ahead and review those integer rules that I have in the earlier season of order of operations and integer rules. So if the signs are different, automatic negative. So negative 5 times positive 4 is negative 20. So these are the couple things that we're going to take a look at in this video here regarding order of operations 2. So let's say we have, you're going to take a look at double parentheses and brackets and the different combinations. So let's say we have here 5 plus. Then we're going to open the parentheses again. So let's say we have here 3 plus 4 times 5. We're going to close the parentheses. Since I got 2 parentheses open, you are going to see 2 parentheses closed. Anytime you open something, something has to close somewhere in the end of the expression. All right, how are we going to handle this one here? So I'm going to show you in a calculator, but I'm going to show you on paper pencil what's going to happen first here. You're going to take care of this parentheses first. You're going to work your way outside until you get to the singular number. So this is going to be done last. So we have the first set of parentheses inside here. We got 3 plus 4 times 5. Now remember, order of operations says to do the multiplication first. So 5 times 4 is 20. And then we're going to go ahead and back add the 3 to that there. So this is how this problem is breaking down so far here. So now we have here the set of parentheses from the original part of the problem. What's 3 plus 20? Isn't that 23? Here's a little hint. Once you've taken care of inside the parentheses and you got it down to a singular number, you can remove that set of parentheses. That part of the problem is done, and then you can go ahead and bring down the rest of the problem like this. Well, here is just addition inside the parentheses. That's all we're going to do here, and this is going to be 28, and we have our final answer. So that's it on that one. Okay. More examples. So it doesn't matter if they're using parentheses or brackets or those funny curly cube brackets that you may see from time to time and different things, and know how to do heads or tails on that there. I'm going to show you what to do on the next ones. Let's say 4 times, and let's say we have a bracket that we're going to open up here. 7 plus 3 times 2. And let's say, we're going to put a little parentheses inside and we're going to square it. So see, I open the parentheses, I close the parentheses, so there's some instructions that are going to go on here. I have a power of 2 here that is outside the parentheses, and then I have to close the bracket in order to tell me I want to be done with that, and then I have to close the curly Q for the outer edge of the problem. Ooh, that's a lot of things going on here, isn't there? But we're going to do this step by step, and we're going to break this problem down. So you're going to go ahead and start at the very inside here. Since we are inside the parentheses, we're going to take care of that first, and then we're going to work our way out, and we're going to have a final answer. Okay, what's 3 times 2? Isn't that 6? So now we're done with the parentheses. Once you get it out of the parentheses like that, you can remove the parentheses just like that. Now we got that 6 squared. Don't forget that power of 2 there. And then you have the bracket here. We can close the curly Q here. There's that plus 7. Open up bracket here, and then just bring down the problem. What I'm done is I brought down everything else here. The only thing I did is I evaluate that inside parentheses first. Okay. Now we're going to work inside this set of brackets next here. Brackets, parentheses, curly Q, all the same matter. What's 6 squared? That's 36. So let's build it here. 4 times, open a bracket, 7 plus 36, close the bracket, close the curly Q. Just like that. Okay, we're almost home. What's 7 plus 36? Isn't that 43? That's 43. So again, I got it to a singular number at this point. Take out the brackets. And the only thing left here in this problem is this multiplication. And that's it. Well, 3 times 4 is 12. Carry 1. 16 plus 1 is 17. 172 is the final answer for this problem here. So see, if you're dealing with parentheses and all kinds of business going on here, start at the very inside and then you want to work your way out of the problem. That's how this stuff is always going to work. There's nothing I can do here. Well, 4 times what? I don't know. It looks like I got 7 and then, oh, okay. So wherever you find the opening and the closure and you got stuff inside there like that, you take care of that first. You work on to the next opening and a closing. And then you work on a final opening and a closing. You have your singular number. I recommend highly to practice on paper and pencil here. You can do these on calculator. However, if you miss a set of parentheses, you forget to close something, you're going to get an error and you're going to be frustrated before you can actually do this kind of problem here. So I recommend working on this first, and then you can certainly input these parentheses as you go along on a calculator. Remember, curly Q's can be brackets, or curly Q's can be parentheses, brackets can be parentheses. If you want to build this problem from scratch on a calculator, you certainly can do that. It's got to be exact. So let's write it up here how this is going to look on a calculator. First of all, here we're going to open the parentheses, and then 4 times, so again here, that's a keystroke. Every time I box something for a calculator, that's a keystroke in a calculator. Open the parentheses, 7 plus, and we got to open another parentheses. 3 times 2. Now see here, that's why you want to be careful. That's why you want to practice these kind of problems on paper first. You've got to close the parentheses before you put the exponent of 2 in. So close the parentheses, and then x squared. See, already right now I'm getting a little nervous. There's a lot of things that are going on here. So that's why I was always trained years ago to do things on paper and pencil first. But I think we're going to get the right answer of that. What did we get? 172? And then after you x squared, then you got to close the parentheses twice. See, if you look at this problem and stand back, I open 3 set of parentheses and I close 3 set of parentheses. So now I have a good running problem here. So you just want to make sure that you are closing the parentheses and the x squared is later. If this power of 2 was inside, then you'd have to do the power of 2 first and then close the parentheses. Right now, the power of 2 is outside. So let's run it on a calculator and see if we're going to get that 172. So let's open the parentheses. And let me go ahead and change my camera view here. The bottom. And here's the calculator over here. Make sure I go back and share my screen so I know what I'm putting in here. And that's it. So let's clear a machine. You got a fresh machine. You want the open parentheses. That's right here. The third column, fifth key down here. Open parentheses 4 times. Open the parentheses. And then 7 plus. Open the parentheses again. Remember, parentheses, brackets, and curly cues are synonymous with parentheses. So then we're going to do 3 times 2. Now we're going to start closing. Now we're going to close the parentheses first. Then you're going to do the x squared key. That's all the way in the bottom left here, x squared. And then close the parentheses twice. Go ahead and put. And hopefully you can see that there in the machine, what I just did. Straight. There you go. Hopefully you can see that there. And then you're going to press enter. And there's that 172. So in the end here, don't forget to press enter. And then you'll have 172 as the final answer. So you can go ahead and take a look at this here on the screen. What I did here has to be placed in that exact order in the calculator. There you go. 3 openings has to have 3 closings. If you forget to close something, the calculator should be good, but just don't get into that practice. If you forget to close something inside the problem here, you're going to get an incorrect answer. So that's one thing you want to make sure that you are doing correctly here, is inputting these correctly in the calculator. Or paper and pencil is the way to learn this stuff first. We haven't talked about Rule 3 in order of operations. Rule 3 on my integer rules is whenever you are subtracting a negative number. So let's say you got 4 minus a negative 2. Whenever you subtract a negative, you're going to change everything to plus, and then you're going to run it with Rule 1 or Rule 2. Please review my video on integer rules. This is all laid out in detail. 4 plus 2 is 6. So, order of operations. Let's take a look at some of that with this Rule 3. So let's say we have here negative 4 multiplied with negative 7 minus 3 times negative 5. So remember, multiplications are going to happen first, and then this is going to be done last. So negative 4 times negative 7 according to Rule 4. Now this is multiplication here, right? So this is all Rule 4. Negative 4 times negative 7 is positive 28. Bring down subtraction. Well, what's 3 times negative 5? Signs are different. You get an automatic negative on that. That's negative 15. Will you see that? I'm subtracting a negative integer here. So put plus and plus here. So you got 28 plus 15 is 43. And that's the final answer. Doing this on a calculator. Now, I want to talk about this negative sign here with this negative 4 here. See that negative sign here that's under the 3? That changes the sign of a number. Do not use minus and negative. They don't mean the same thing here. So if you want to put in negative 4, you're going to put this little white symbol negative sign in first here. So in order to do this properly here, and this negative means that little white button that's on the bottom here next to the enter key. So remember that there. So negative 4. And then we're going to multiply by negative 7. Now the subtraction, you're going to use the subtraction here. Okay, that's the big subtraction, that's the operation. And then you're going to multiply, okay, 3 times. Open the, no, don't open the parentheses. You're going to put in, type in that negative sign and 5. Enter. Okay. So again, these are keystrokes here. That's next to the enter key. And then you got the operation subtraction. That's going to be here. So let's try that out to see what's going to happen. Okay, so let's start off with a fresh machine here. Clear this here. Negative 4 times negative 7. Take away 3 times negative 5. So let's go on and look at this closer here to see how we're doing with this. So negative 4 times negative 7 minus 3 times negative 5, and enter, and hopefully we'll get that 43. We got the 43. There you have it. So 43 is the final answer. So remember, these are next to the enter. See the enter key on the bottom right? That's that key right here. Let's get that a little closer so you can see what I'm talking about. See that negative sign? This changes the positive number into a negative number. So make sure you're using this for any time you are changing a positive into a negative. And this is going to be the operation here. Operation of minus here. And that's going to be over here on the right side here. That is right here where my thumb is. That's the operation subtraction. Okay? Okay, hopefully you got that understood there. Let's take a look at some other little features, and this video will be wrapped up. We haven't talked parentheses. Let's say you have 4 plus 3 squared. Now the power of 2 is inside the parentheses. Notice that this is different than 4 plus 3 with the power of 2 of outside. They are different because what is happening here with 3 squared, this is going to happen inside the parentheses, and then you'll get the final answer out. However, here, you're going to find out what's inside the parentheses and then take this power of 2 last. Let's do these step by step. So 4 plus 3 squared, you got to do the 3 squared first here. That's going to be 9, and then you're going to back add the 4, and that's all it's going to be here. You're going to have 13 as the final answer over here. Now this guy here, see the power of 2 is outside. 4 plus 3 is 7. And then you're going to do 7 squared. That's 7 times 7, that's 49. So these are the some of the things that you're going to be dealing with on your HiSET or GED test. Watch out for these powers of 2. They could be in different places. These exponents, if it's on the inside, it's treated like this. And then if the power of 2 is outside, then you're going to take care of all your business inside the parentheses, and then take the power of 2 last. Okay, that's going to conclude this video here. Again, subscribe to my channel, and we'll have some more videos in the near future. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and take care.